गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम्। गीतायाः पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठः प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागादीनि तत्र वै। यत्र गीताविचारश्च पठनं पाठनं श्रुतं तत्र अहं निश्चितं पृथ्वीं निवसामि सदैव हि। चिदानन्देन कृष्णेन प्रोक्ता स्वमुखतोऽर्जुन वेदत्रयी परानन्दा तत्त्वार्थज्ञानसंयुता। अष्टादश जपेन्नित्यं नरो निश्चलमानसः ज्ञानसिद्धिं स लभते ततो याति परं पदम्। गीतार्थं ध्यायते नित्यं कृत्वा कर्माणि भूरिशः जीवन्मुक्तः स विज्ञेयो देहान्ते परमं पदम्। यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु. So in the previous class we studied until the 22nd shloka, I think, right?
Bhagini.
So the 22nd. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonayaha evate adyantavantaha kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. So basically the buddhiman will not give in to the small sukhams that we obtain through the indriyas with the bahya vishayan. So that is what we studied at Adyantavanta. So these sukhas have Adi and Anta. We obtain them and then very shortly we again lose them. So, so we should not give in to such sukhams which are not permanent. And while we are giving in for such sukhams, we are forgetting the fact that there is a bigger sukham that we need to work for. Our focus is getting distracted. So that is another reason for us to not give in to these sukhas. So in this context, a small story is told about a Rakshasa. So she is called Karkati. So she has a very huge body and she eats humans as food. So then after a while, she gets tired of the same taste. So she will perform tapas for Brahma and she will ask Brahma, can I take different forms so that I can eat different things? Because if I'm eating only humans, I am unable to have a variety in my taste. So she wants to be able to take several forms so that she can have different tastes as each in each part. Like say for example, a mosquito. Mosquito will bite animals, it will bite humans and everything. So she does that. The Brahma will give her that boon that she asks for. So she will take these other forms, but with these other forms, the problem that she has is with very little blood, her appetite is satisfied. So she does not again have the satisfaction of having enough. So she again does tapas and asks, no, no, this is not good for me. Give me back my original form. So she again goes back into her huge body. So while all this is happening, so she constantly craved for little sukhams. So that is the reason why she performs this tapas and she wants to try this way and that way and all that. And during all this, like performing tapas is not a small thing, even for a Rakshasa. So by performing tapas, her chintana will change a little bit. Though she's not completely transformed into Satvika Swabhava Jivi, she still has some chintana that occurs to her, and then she will realize, okay, so I took this huge body and then I took this small body. So if the bodies are different, who is it that is within these bodies? I am still the same, whether I am in a small body or a big body. I know who I am. I was able to realize who I was. So there is something different than this body, and so the which is permanent and which takes these several forms. So with that kind of Atma Atma Tattva Jnanam, she has a little bit of Atma Tattva Jnanam that she gets. But what happens is she wants to, she realizes that this body is not her. So this body is different and I am different. So why to satisfy this body? So I will stop eating. So she will stop eating and just stay like that. Then what happens? Obviously, she will become very weak. So then Vayudeva will come her way and say, why did you stop eating? Why don't so she will explain all this. I realized that I am something different and this body is something different. I don't want to give in to the taste of this body. This body is the thing that is desiring these tastes, but I don't want to have anything to do with this body. So then he says, okay, but you are becoming weak. That is also not good. You should not starve your body. So you do one thing. Why don't you eat sinners, people who have performed sins? That way, you're not killing somebody just for your hunger. But of course, they have done some sins. So it is okay to eat them. So then but how to identify these sinners? Now, everybody will look the same to the outside. So how can I identify who has committed some sin or who has not committed sin? Then again, she will start thinking, okay, so this is her decision that she makes. So whoever has a tattva jnanam is not a sinner. He might not have committed any papam. He who does not have tattva jnanam, he is a person who has committed sin. So she decides like that and she keeps asking questions. If she finds a person coming her way whom she wants to eat, she will first ask them some questions. And based on how they give the answers, she will realize if they have tattva jnanam or not. And if she thinks they have tattva jnanam, she will let them go. Otherwise, she will eat. Now, all this and later on, what happens to that Rakshasa is a different story. But what we have to understand from this story is even that Rakshasa has identified that there is Paramatma in every being. So it is that Atma that is Shashvatam, and the outside appearances or what we do for beyond that Paramatma in our body is only because of our Purva Janma Sukritas. Now, for this Rakshasa to take this form of Rakshasa is also because of the deeds that she must have done in the previous lives. So, with this kind of Chintana, if she changes, it will, in a few more lives, she can become into a Sattvika person, Sattvika Jeevi, we can say. So, that is a short story given here for us to realize, because in this we are seeing that for these small sukhas one should not given, because these are only to satisfy the indriyas of this sharira. So when we look beyond the indriyas of this sharira, the atma is not touched in any way by any of the sukhas of these indriyas. So if we are able to identify that distinction, then we will not crave so much for these small sukhas, and our goal will be focused on the akhanda sukham, which is the Paramatma Tattva Jnanam. So that is what this shloka is trying to say. Now moving on to shloka number 23 on page number 15 of Geetha Pravesha, book 5. Okay, the 5th book of the series. So Ravishankar Mahodaya patitum ichchati va? Ravishankar Mahodaya? Astu. Alivelu Bagni?
Bagni. Seknoti haiva yah sodhum prakshariira vimokshanat kamakrodhodbhavam vegam sayuktah sasukhi naraha. Sheknoti iha eva yaha sodhum prakshariira vimokshanat. एकं पदमेव प्राक् शरीर विमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं सः युक्तः सः सुखी नरः. शक्नोति शक् धातुः लट्लकारं प्रथमपुरुष एकवचनं, इह अव्ययम् एव अव्ययम्, यः यत्शब्दश्च दकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनं. सोढुं सोढुं
सः धातु तुमुन्नन्त.
तुमुन्नन्त. ओके. प्राक् प्राक् అంటే
అవ్యయం.
అవ్యయం. ఓకే. శరీరమోక్షణాత్ శరీరమోక్షణ శరీరవిమోక్షణాత్ అకారాంత నపుంసకలింగ పంచమి ఏకవచనం. కామక్రోధోద్భవం అకారాంత నపుంసకలింగ ప్రథమాయ ద్వితీయ ఏకవచనం. ప్రథమా కామక్రోధోద్భవం. వేగం వేగం
तो पुंलिङ्गं भवितुम् अर्हति भगिनि.
कामक्रोधोद्भव. पुंलिङ्गं द्वितीय एकवचनं.
वेगं
वेगं वेगम् अपि पुंलिङ्गं द्वितीय एकवचनं. सः तत्शब्दस्य दकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनं. युक्तः अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनं. सः पुंलिङ्ग एकवचनं. सुखी सुखी ईकारान्त प्रथमा एकवचनं. ईकारान्त स्त्रीलिङ्गं. नरः अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनं. पदार्थः यः यः पुरुषः इह एव अत्र एव शरीरविमोक्षणात् देहत्यागात् प्राक् पूर्वं कामक्रोधोद्भवं रागद्वेषजन्यं वेगं वेगसदृशं विकारं सोढुं जेतुं शक्नोति समर्थो भवति. सः नरः सः पुरुषः युक्तः योगी सः एव च सः पुरुषः एव च सुखी आनन्दी. अन्वयः यः इह एव शरीरविमोक्षणात् प्राक् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं सोढुं शक्नोति सः नरः युक्तः सः एव च सुखी. तात्पर्यम्
Miru Indaka, you said one word, something as Strilinga. Which padam is that?
Sukhi, Sukhi.
He Pumlingam eva, Sukhin Shabdaha.
Sukhin Sabdama. Okay. Nakaranta.
Prathama Vibhakti Rupam Sukhi.
Okay. नकारान्त पुंलिंग प्रथम एकवचनं सुखी
नरः शब्दस्य विशेषणमस्ति महोदय महोदय श्रूयते वा
श्रूयते महोदय
क्षमा याचे महोदय मम सिस्टम् अग्रिमश्लोकं पठामि महोदय
आमाम्
तात्पर्यं यः इह जगति एव शरीरत्यागात् पूर्वं कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं सोढुं शक्नोति सः नरः योगी सः एव च सुखी प्रश्नाः वेगः कीदृशः वेगः कीदृशः युक्तः न
कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं
कामक्रोधोद्भवं तादृशं
वेगः
कामक्रोधोद्भवः वेगः
विभक्तौ अस्ति खलु अतः वेगः कामक्रोधोद्भवः
तादृशं वेगं यः सोढुं शक्नोति सः कीदृशः सः सुखी सः नरः सुखी च युक्तः कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं किं कर्तुं शक्नोति युक्तः कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं
सोढुं शक्नोति
विमोक्षण
सोढुं शक्नोति
कर्तुं न सोढुं शक्नोति सः तं वेगं कस्मात् पूर्वं सोढुं शक्नोति सः तं वेगं प्राक् शरीर विमोक्षणात् पूर्वं सोढुं शक्नोति
प्राक् इत्युक्ते
पूर्वमेव
द्विवारं नास्ति विषयकता नास्ति
सन्धिः शक्नोति हैव शक्नोति प्लस इह सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिः शक्नोतिः प्लस एव वृद्धिसन्धिः सा युक्तः सः प्लस युक्तः विसर्गसन्धिः लोपः सा सुखी सः सुखी
विसर्गसन्धिः
भगिनी
lost the internet गतम् इति मन्ये
अलवेलु भगिनी
धातुः तुमन् विमोक्षणात् विमोक्ष लिट् भावे तस्मात् युक्तः युज् धातुः क्ता प्रत्ययम् तद्धितान्तः सुखी सुख इनि मतुबर्थे सुखम् अस्य अस्मिन् वा अस्ति धन्यवादः भगिनी
धन्यवादः भगिनी सो अत्र क्रियापदं किं
शक्नोति
अत्र कर्तृपदं
नरः
पुनः यः शक्नोति सः किं करोति यः सोढुं शक्नोति सः युक्तः अस्ति यः सोढुं शक्नोति किं सोढुं शक्नोति कामक्रोध उद्भवं शक्नोति सः युक्तः अस्ति सः नरः सुखी अपि भवति okay so he who can control sodhum he who can control what the vegam of the kama and what will he obtain sharira vimokshanat prak so he should be able to control this even before he leaves the body so we all while we still have the prana in our body we should be able to control the kama and the krodha and its speed sometimes we see that anger rushing right that anger will be rushing so we should be conscious and realize that that anger is taking over that is when we need to control its speed if we are not able to control the speed then whatever we do in that anger obviously whatever we do in anger will definitely not be correct it will be something incorrect only it will not be something good so we have to control the speed of that anger and desire and when do we need to do that before we leave the body Sharira vimokshanat prak. Kamakrodhodbhavam vegam yaha sodhum shaknoti. He who is able to control that even before leaving the body. Saha yuktaha asti. Saha naraha sukhi asti. Okay, he is the one who is yuktaha, he who has control. Yuktaha means he who has his manas and indriyas under control and who is already who has already joined the Paramatma. He who is already in association with that Paramatma. And such a person has already obtained that Akhanda Sukham. Sukhi Asti. And that Sukham is Akhanda Sukham. It is not Adyanta Sukham. So here Shaknoti is the Kriya Padam. Yaha Sodhum Shaknoti. Saha Yuktaha Asti. Saha Naraha Sukhi Api Asti. Kim Sodhum?
कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं सोढुम्.
Kamakrodha Udbhavam Vegam Sodhum. Kada? Sharira Vimokshanat Prakeva Sodhum Shaknoti. So here the Sharira Vimokshanat Prak should be connected to Sodhum only, not Shaknoti. Okay, he should be able to control. When should he be able to control? Before the body, the Atma leaves the body, the Prana leaves the body. So here the Adhikaranam is with the Sodhum. Okay, the Prak means before. So it is indicating Adhikaranam. That Adhikaranam should be for Sodhum, not for Shaknoti. Any questions in this shloka?
సహ అంటే కంట్రోల్ వస్తుంది మమ్మీ.
Saha ante?
సోడుం అంటే సహధాతు అన్నారు కదా, మీనింగ్ కంట్రోల్ కి వస్తుందా?
Correct. Sahate means to be able to tolerate, or in this context we can take it as controlling.
Okay. అంటే ఫీలింగ్స్ వస్తాయి, ఎమోషన్స్, బట్ యు విల్ బి ఏబుల్ టు అబ్జర్వ్ ఆర్ టాలరేట్.
Yes. Enduring or controlling, all these come under with the sahadhatu. So here how we can look at it is so a yogi, we see such yogis who are able to control all their emotions. They still are living this life. They are still, their prana is still in the body. Though they have attained siddhi, they are still like Janakadaya Maharaja and other great yogis are there. So all such people are example for this shloka. So saha yuktaha, saha naraha sukhi asti. So why? Because they are able to control their kama and krodha. Kama and krodha are the root causes for all the other negativity that a person can do. So that is the reason why kama and krodha are mentioned more than the others, because these are the root causes for the all other things that we do, whatever a person does. So here we can look at so how to control, or how should that sthiratvam be? Like say for example, here if the river is compared to kama, right? Now when a small fish are coming, the force of the river can easily push away the fish. The fish is like your sthiratvam. Okay, the fish is you can consider the fish as your sthiratvam. So it can be easily tossed away by the force of the river. But what if a whale comes? When a whale comes, can a small river do anything to that whale? No. The whale can easily take over or swim across or ahead of the river, like opposite, against the river flow. Why? Because that river is nothing. So our sthira buddhi should be in such a way, so that even if small desires, like small fish, come across our way, we should easily be able to push them away. Our sthiratvam should be like the whale, where even this kama we can easily overcome the kama. And sometimes this desire can be fueled with like how a river is when joined with small canals or small streams, it will gain more energy. More momentum and energy. Similarly, even we also, if our environment that we are in, So say for example, we are surrounded by people who always are in this Vishaya Vancha. Their Indriyas are always focused on the Vishayas. And if we constantly spend our time there, obviously we tend to also give in to that once in a while, right? So that is the reason why the yogis will spend time away from the regular world. Why? Because that is not what we want. That kind of environment will not help us. So that is the reason why. Once you attain Siddhi, then no matter where you are, you will have that stability to be able to be who you are and practice that sthiratvam continuously. But while you are still in that abhyasa level, this environment also will matter. So if we are surrounded with people who are always giving in to this Vishaya Vanchas, we also will tend to one time or the other, we will give in. If we place around us very tasty food, we definitely there is a very good possibility that we will put one of it in our mouth. But if there is nothing there and only Satvika Aharam, what will we do? Our mind will not go there. Of course, again, there also there are many levels. Sometimes even if nothing is there and if our mind is very weak and if we crave so much, we go and get it and eat it. That is one thing. Sometimes if it is out of our eyesight, we are fine. We will to control our temptations and practice, Satvika Aharam. But sometimes even when the food is right in front of us, the tempting food, we should not be able to eat it. That is the level that we have to obtain. But these are all steps and we are taking one step at a time. So while we are still doing that abhyasa, what we have to do, if we are not allowed to eat, sugary foods because of our health issues or whatever, we should try to keep it away first. Once we obtain that and also give the body what it needs. Why we have discussed this earlier also. Why does body crave for certain foods? Is because there is something missing. Some nutrient is missing in your body. That is the reason why it always craves. So if you provide it the right food, the Satvika Ahara and the whole food, that cravings will come down drastically. You will not even crave for the junk food anymore. So by putting away the unwanted food and feeding our body with the right food, those cravings will come down. And then even if you have such kind of food in front of you, easily you will be able to say no to it. Okay, so similarly here also we have to, while doing the sadhana, we have to try to surround ourselves only with satsangam. That is the reason why we have these satsangams. Many people conduct these satsangams. But again, there also you have to make sure that the intention of the satsangam is not disturbed. Many times in the name of satsangam, if other things are again being entertained, then there is no point in practicing those satsangams. So there maintained and our focus should always be on what is good for our mind. Okay. And then we will not be affected by this kama and krodha, and such yogi will experience that akhanda sukha. Anantaram Mahodaya.
पठामि वा महोदय?
Patatu Mahodaya, 24.
24. योऽन्तः सुकोऽन्तरारामः तथान्तर्ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्मनिर्माणं ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति. पदच्छेदः. यः अन्तःसुखः अन्तरारामः तथा अन्तर्ज्योतिः एव यः सः योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मभूतः अधिगच्छति. वाक्यविश्लेषणं करोमि वा महोदय?
पठतु महोदय.
यः दकारान्तः यद् पदार्थं प्रथमं पठामि वा? वाक्यविश्लेषणं पठित्वा आं महोदय?
कदापि शक्यते.
वाक्यविश्लेषणं. यः दकारान्तः यद् सर्वनामशब्दः पुंलिङ्गः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं. यः पुरुषः इत्यर्थे. अन्तःसुखः अकारान्तः पुल्लिङ्गः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं. आत्मन्येव सन्तुष्टः इति अर्थः कर्तरि टु भवति. अन्तरारामः अकारान्तः पुल्लिङ्गः प्रथमाविभक्ति एकवचनम् आत्मन्येव रममाणः कर्तरि टु भवति तथा अव्ययम् एवम् इत्यर्थे अन्तर्ज्योतिः सकार अन्तः पुल्लिङ्गः अन्तर्ज्योतिस् शब्दः प्रथमाविभक्ति एकवचनं कर्तरि टु भवति पुनः एव अव्ययम् यः दकारान्तः यत् सर्वनाम शब्दः पुल्लिङ्गः प्रथमाविभक्ति एकवचनं कर्तरि टु शक्नोति अत्र सः दकारान्तः तद् सर्वनाम शब्दः पुंलिङ्गः प्रथमाविभक्ति एकवचनं योगी पदस्य विशेषणम् अस्ति सः योगी इति ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अकारान्तः नपुंसकलिङ्गः द्वितीया विभक्ति एकवचनं मोक्षम् इत्यर्थे कर्मणि टु अधिगच्छति ब्रह्मभूतः अकारान्तः पुल्लिङ्गः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं ब्रह्माणं ब्रह्मणा एकीभवं प्राप्तवान् इत्यर्थे योगी पदस्य विशेषणम् अस्ति अधिगच्छति अधि इति उपसर्गः गम धातु लट् लकारः कर्तरि प्रथमपुरुष एकवचन प्राप्नोति इत्यर्थे पदार्थं पठामि वा
पठतु
यः पुरुषः अन्तःसुखः आत्मनि एव सुखवान् अन्तरारामः आत्मनि एव रममाणः तथा यः एवं यः जनः अन्तर्ज्योतिः आत्मनि एव ज्ञानवान् सः जनः ब्रह्मभूतः ब्रह्मणा एकीभवं प्राप्तवान् योगी ब्रह्मनिर्माणं ब्रह्मणि लयं मोक्षम् इत्यर्थे अधिगच्छति प्राप्नोति व्याकरणं प्रश्नान् पठामि वा व्याकरणं
अन्वयः तात्पर्यम् अपि पठतु
आम् महोदय अन्वयः यः अन्तःसुखः अन्तरारामः तथा यः एव अन्तर्ज्योतिः भवति इति अध्याहर्तव्यं सः योगी ब्रह्मभूतः ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति तात्पर्यं यः अन्तः आत्मनि एव सुखम् अनुभवति न तु विषयेषु आत्मन्येव विहरति न तु विषयेषु आत्मज्ञानेन ज्ञानवान् न तु विषयासक्तः तादृशः योगी ब्रह्मणि स्थितः सन् ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं प्राप्नोति व्याकरणांशः समासः अन्तःसुखः अन्तः एव सुखं यस्य सः बहुव्रीहिः अन्तरारामः अन्तः एव आरामः अर्थात् आक्रीडा यस्य सः बहुव्रीहिः अन्तर्ज्योतिः अन्तः एव ज्योतिः यस्य सः बहुव्रीहिः ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मणि निर्वाणं तत् सप्तमी तत्पुरुषः ब्रह्मभूतः एव द्वितीया तत्पुरुषः तदन्तः भूतः भूत प्रत्ययः कर्तर्यर्थे तद्धितान्तः योगी योग येषु वा अस्ति इति
प्रश्नाः अपि सन्ति खलु महोदय
आम् महोदय पठामि कः ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं कीदृशः सन् अधिगच्छति योगी ब्रह्मभूतः सन् ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति योगी किम् अधिगच्छति योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति योगी कीदृशो भवति योगी अन्तःसुखः अन्तरारामः अन्तर्ज्योतिः भवति
ब्रह्मनिर्वाण इत्यस्य कः अर्थः
पुनरपि एकमस्ति किल ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् इत्यस्य कः अर्थः ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् इत्यस्य मोक्षः इति अर्थः
अस्तु
धन्यवादः महोदय सन्धि एकं न पठितमस्ति पठामि महोदय अन्तरारामस्तथा अन्तरारामः तथा विसर्गसन्धिः सकारादेशः तथान्तर्ज्योतिरेव तथा अन्तर्ज्योतिः सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिः अन्तर्ज्योतिः एव विसर्गसन्धिः रेफः क्षम्यतां स योगी सः योगी विसर्गस्य लोपः ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति ब्रह्मभूतः अधिगच्छति विसर्गसन्धिः सकारः रेफः उकारः गुणः पूर्वरूपञ्च
अस्तु अस्तु महोदय सो अत्र क्रियापदं
योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति
कर्तृपदम् अधिगच्छति क्रियापदस्य कर्तृपदं
सः योगी
योगी कर्तृपदं सः विशेषणं
सः विशेषणं यः सः वाक्यांशः भवति अत्र
तो ब्रह्मभूतः किं भवति
ब्रह्मभूतः यः आत्मनि एव सुखवान् आत्मनि एव रममाणः अन्तर्ज्योतिः सः ब्रह्मभूतः भवति ब्रह्मणा एकीभावं प्राप्तवान् इति उच्यते
सो अत्र कारकसम्बन्धं किं भवति ब्रह्मभूत इति शब्दस्य
ब्रह्मभूत इति शब्दस्य कारकत्वं कर्मणकारकः भवति किल
सो ब्रह्मभूतः इत्युक्ते ब्रह्मणा एकीभावं प्राप्तवान् सः
सप्तम्यन्तं भवति किल
सप्तमी
सप्तमी भवति
लयिंचिनवाडु
एकं निमिषं विधेयं भवति अलिवेलु सः योगी ब्रह्मभूतः भवन् ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अधिगच्छति
योगी पदस्य विशेषणं
so we can take bhavan or sun actually sun or bhavan anything we can take as adyahritam so saha yogi brahmabhutah bhavan or sun brahma nirvanam adhigacchati so that yogi will become one with the brahman and then he will obtain brahma nirvanam so yogi is padam yogi is kartrupadam brahmabhutah is videya visheshana to yogi and
saha
sun
is kartru
1 second sun we have written we have to take adhyaham of sun that will vartamana samana kala and brahma nirvanam will become karma padam to adhigacchati so here what is vartamana samana kala means say for example if I say Ramah पठन् लिखति रामः पठन् लिखति so here no पठन् लिखति
पठन् लिखति इत्युक्ते पठति तत्कालमेव लिखति
तत्कालमेव so that is why vartamana samana kalam so here this is पठन् will become vartamana samana kalam to लिखति Ramah will be the kartrupadam Pathan likati. Pathan will become Vartamana Samana Kalam rather than Videya Visheshana. Why? Because it is not Visheshana to Rama. It is indicating while reading. While reading. The Pathan Shabda indicates while reading. So it is more of a Kriya rather than a noun. It is acting more as a Kriya rather than a noun. So Vartamana Samana Kalaha we say that kind of relation. Likati is the Kriyapadam. Ramaha will be the Kartrupadam. So here also, this yogi, he will become this, the Brahmabhutaha, Bhavan. Brahmabhutaha, Bhavan or sun, you can take any word. So this Brahmabhutaha will be Videya Visheshana. Bhavan means becoming into this Brahmabhutaha.
These are the processes.
Becoming or sun will be Vartamana Samana Kala. Okay? And then the first part of the sentence we have yaha antas sukhaha
antararamaha
antarjyotihi bhavati saha yogi so here yaha saha we can join yaha antas sukhaha antararamaha bhavati tatha saha
antarjyotireva
so here we have two yahas and one saha So 2 yahas and 1 saha, which is also fine. Yaha antasukah antararamaha bhavati. Tatha yaha eva antarjyotihi bhavati. Saha yogi brahmabhutaha san brahma nirvanam adhigacchati. So these 2 yahas we can join with this 1 saha.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And yaha will be the kartrupadam, antasukah and antararamaha will be the videya visheshanas of yaha.
तथा यः एव अंतर्ज्योतिः.
So
अंतर्ज्योतिः यः for the second one.
For the second yaha, it will become 2 sentences with yaha and 1 sentence with saha, and all will be joined.
Yes.
As. Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya.
Dhanyavadaya Mahodaya.
So any questions in this shloka to anyone? So basically here, this shloka is again emphasizing on the fact that we have to look for that sukham within ourselves and not in the bahya vastu. Why? Because the sukham that we find in the bahya vastu
is temporary.
Has and anta, and that sukham is not permanent. So we always have to look for the sukham within ourselves. We should not go in search of bahya sukham. We have to look for it within ourselves. Practice, and that practicing is not easy, but we still have to practice. And sometimes, though we are not looking for bahya sukham, sometimes there will be certain things that come across our way, which we cannot completely ignore. But we have to learn to become immune to such things also. Like, say, for example, the fragrance of a flower. We are not going in search of it, but sometimes with the breeze, that also will come. And then even when we are not looking for it, like I said, but when it comes, we kind of enjoy for that moment.
Yes.
Which is fine. But again,
we should not go after that.
Exactly.
We should not go after
that. We should not be distracted by that. And another thing that we can keep in mind is, say, for example, we are in very deep sleep. Will this smell affect our sleep? Will this affect us when we are asleep in deep sleep? No. Why? Because our indriyas are all shut down. Similarly, when we are awake, even when such things come, of course, we can simply appreciate it, but we should not be indulged. We should not indulge completely in it, because that again will be a distraction, and the final goal we will be pushing away if we keep giving into these things.
Such pleasures.
I think we have to keep in mind. Okay, so Surya Bhagini, 25th shloka. Surya Bhagini.
Namaste Mahodaya. Sound వినిపిస్తుందా మీకు?
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది.
అదే డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఏం లేకుండా ఉందా?
డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఏం లేదు.
అంటే వెనకాల స్పీకర్స్ ఉన్నాయి, అందుకని అడుగుతున్నా.
ఇప్పటి వరకు అయితే డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఏం వినపడట్లేదు.
సరే, వస్తే చెప్పండి. లభంతే బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం ఋషయక్షేణ కల్మషాః ఛిన్నద్వైతాత్మనః సర్వభూతహితే రతాః. లభంతే, ఇది లట్టు ప్రత్యయం ఏకవచనం, ఇది బహువచనం, ప్రథమ పురుష బహువచనం. బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం. నిర్వాణం అంటే నపుంసకలింగం అవుతుంది కదా. బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణ అని వస్తుందా? ప్రథమ పురుష ఏకవచనం
నపుంసకలింగం కదా.
నపుంసకలింగం ప్రథమ పురుష.
సో బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం విల్ బికమ్ కర్మపదం. సో ఇట్ ఇస్ ఇన్ ద్వితీయ విభక్తి.
ఋషయః, ఇది ఋషి ఋకారాంత
పుంలింగ
బహువచనం, ప్రథమ బహువచనం. క్షీణ కల్మషాః షకారాంత ఏకవచనం, ప్రథమ పురుష బహువచనం. చిన్న చిన్నద్వైధాః చిన్నత్ కదా ఇది
అకారాంత
చిన్నత్ దకారాంత
అకారాంత పుంలింగ
ప్రథమ ఏకవచనం చిన్నద్వైధాః చిన్నద్వైధాః
సమాస పదం.
యథాత్మనః
ఇవన్నీ సమాస పదాలు.
యథాత్మనః ఆత్మన్ శబ్దం ప్రథమ పురుష బహువచనం బహువచనం సర్వభూత హితేః హితః శబ్దం
విసర్గ లేదు. సర్వభూత హితే
బహువచనం
పుంలింగ సప్తమి ఏకవచనం.
హితే సప్తమి బహువచనం రతాః
సప్తమి విభక్తి ఏకవచనం.
సప్తమి విభక్తి ఏకవచనం
రతాః ప్రథమ పురుష బహువచనం అకారాంత పుంలింగ ప్రథమా విభక్తి బహువచనం సప్రత్యయ ఆఫ్ ద రమ్ ధాతు.
రమ్ ధాతు నుంచి వస్తుంది ఇది రతాః. పదార్థ క్షేణకల్మషాః నష్టపాపాః చిన్నద్వైదాః అపగత సంశయాః యథాత్మనః జితేంద్రియాః సర్వభూత హితే సర్వభూత సుఖే రతాః ఆసక్తాః ఋషయః మునయః బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం మోక్షం లభంతే ప్రాప్నువంతి. అన్వయః క్షేణకల్మషాః చిన్నద్వైదాః యథాత్మనః సర్వభూతహితే రతాః ఋషయః బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం లభంతే. తాత్పర్యం ఏషాం పాపాని వినష్టాని సంతి సంశయాః చ వినష్టాః చిత్తం చ నియంత్రితం అస్తి. ఏ సర్వభూతానాం హితే రతాః సంతి తే బ్రహ్మవేత్తారః ఋషయః మోక్షం ప్రాప్నువంతి. ఆత్మమతం జ్ఞానినః జ్ఞాన ప్రతిబంధకాని పాపాని అతీత్య శ్రవణాదిభిః భగవత్తత్వే దార్ఢ్యం సంపాదయంతి. అపి చ లోకోపకారిణః సంతః ప్రాకృత శరీరరహితం పరమాత్మానం సేవంతే. కృష్ణాః ఏ బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం లభంతే. చిన్నద్వైత ఋషయః బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం లభంతే. క్షేణకల్మషాః ఋషయః కీదృశాః ఋషయః చిన్నద్వైతాః యథాత్మనః సర్వభూతహితే రతాశ్చ. చిన్నద్వైత ఇత్యస్య కః అర్థః? చిన్నద్వైత ఇత్యస్య అపగత సంశయాః. ఋషయః కిం లభతే? ఋషయः బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం లభతే. వ్యాకరణం సంధిః చిన్నద్వైత యథాత్మానః చిన్నద్వైతాః ప్లస్ యథాత్మనః విసర్గ సంధిః లోపః. సమాసః బ్రహ్మ నిర్వాణం బ్రహ్మణి నిర్వాణం వస్తుందా ఇది?
బ్రహ్మణి నిర్వాణం సప్తమి తత్పురుష.
బ్రహ్మణి నిర్వాణం సప్తమి తత్పురుష. క్షేణ కల్మషాః క్షేణాని కల్మషాని ఏషాం తే బహువ్రీహిః. చిన్నద్వైతాః చిన్నం ద్వైతం యైః తే బహువ్రీహిః. యథాత్మనః యతః ఆత్మా యైః తే బహువ్రీహిః. సర్వభూతహితే సర్వాణి భూతాని కర్మధారయః. సర్వభూతానాం హితం తస్మిన్ షష్ఠీ తత్పురుషః. కృదంతః యతః యమ ప్లస్ త కర్మణి హితః హ హి ఇతి ఆదేశः ప్లస్ త కర్తరి. రతః రం ప్లస్ త కర్తరి. యతః అంటే యమ ప్లస్ త అని వస్తుందా?
యతః అంటే యతః ఎలా చూడొచ్చు?
యతః అంటే సంపాదించిన వాళ్ళు అన్నట్టుగా వస్తుందా?
क्षीणकल्मषाः छिन्नद्वैधाः यतात्मानः सर्वभूतहिते रताः ऋषयः ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं लभन्ते. So here yatatmanah, so yata will come under like prayatnam. Yataha,
అంటే యత్నంలా వస్తుందమ్మా.
where is yataha? Just the word yataha here in this shloka. Why is it? Why is the yataha?
యథాత్మనః ఉంది.
Yatatmanah is there. That is a samasa word, right? Yatatmanah. So yataha by itself is not there. Yataha is yatate, yat shabdasya. So ikkada yama kadu, yat shabdasya kta pratyayam iti bhavitum arhati. And that is the word yatatmanaha is, that is what it indicates.
యతః అంటే యమ అని చెప్పేసి ఇచ్చారు కదా, ఇది యమ అనే అర్థంలో ఎలా వస్తుంది?
But I don't think it is yama. First it is a samasa word, so just yataha is not used. And yatatmanaha is those who try, basically. Yatatmanaha is with the constant abhyasa, those who put under the indriyas under control. So the atma, they have complete control over the atma with the prayatnam. So that is yatatmanaha. So here only yataha is not there. So it does not needed as a kridanta. It is a part of the samasa word. Yataha atma yaihi tai. Yaihi te means by whom the atma is put under control. So in that sense we can take. So this is the yatate, that yat dhatu. So here what is the kriya padam?
క్రియాపదం లభంతే.
Labhante. Kartrupadam?
ఋషయః.
ऋषयः. So ksheena-kalmashaha, chinna-dvaidaha, yatatmanaha, rataha. What do all these become?
విశేషణాలు. ఋషులకి
ऋषयः.
విశేషణాలు.
Sarvabhutahite?
సర్వభూతహితే
Rataha. Means it will become adhikarana of rataha. Means everybody who enjoys in wishing well for all the bhutas, all the pranis. Okay, sarvabhutahite rataha. They take pleasure in taking care of the other pranis. Okay, such people are called sarvabhutahite rataha, and such kind of rishayah. Yatatmanah rishayah, chinnadvaidha rishayah, ksheena-kalmashaah rishayah. All such people with all these qualities, brahma nirvanam labhante. They will obtain the brahma nirvanam. Chinnadvaidhaah, samshayam. So who do not have samshayam, or who have cleared their samshayam with whatever is given in these tattva shastras, by understanding and practicing, putting them into practice, we can destroy our or clear our samshayas that we might have. Even here
చిన్న ద్వైదాహ అంటే ద్వైతీ భావం అంటారు కదా, అటువంటిది లేని వాళ్ళు అన్నట్టుగా వస్తుందా ఇది? రెండు రకాల భావాలు ఉంటే అలాంటి భావాలు నశించిన వాళ్ళని.
ante dvaidam here is taken as destroying. No, sorry, chinnam is destroying, dvaidam is samshayam. So ade samshayam unnappude kada we have both kinds of thoughts, right? So destroying whenever there is samshayam, you have two minds. You are thinking in two different ways. So that when it is destroyed, the samshayam is also destroyed. In that way we can take. So after he who destroys all his or clears all his samshayams, and he who destroys all his papams. So we have to stop doing incorrect things or not good things, and by that we will nullify our papams or sins that we have already done. So ksheena-kalmashaah. So we are decreasing our papams. And how do we do that? By correcting our what we have done and doing more and more satkarmacharana. By that we can always nullify the bad things that we have done in the past. And with the Shuddha Manas we have to do. Satkarmacharana means simply going and doing some good deed, but without the manas in it, that is not considered as Satkarmacharana. With all your manas, with not even an ounce of negativity or ahankara or any kind of thing you should not have while doing that Satkarmacharana. And looking at Paramatma in every prani that is around, that is in this world. With such kind of Shuddha Manas, we have to do the Satkarmacharana. Otherwise, no matter what kind of good deed you do, it will not nullify the bad effects that you have done. Again, remember the story of Dhruva. What did Dhruva do? He did not do anything bad, but he wanted to go in search of that Vishnu, because his stepmother asked him, only when you get the blessings of Vishnu, you will be able to sit on your father's lap. Until then, Dhruva did not do, not until then, he never did anything bad, but still he did not attain moksha. Why? There are, of course, there are some sanchita karmas and he has to do his duties and all. But even after he did the tapas, what was the reason that put him still in this world, continuing to with his duties? Is because he was not able to see Paramatma in his stepmother. That one thing also put him behind. So, and how did he come to know of that? With Mananam. So he went over the things. Now my stepmother said this to me. I immediately went. And Narada Maharshi said that you should not react so much as a king. You have to endure certain insults. So that indicated that I had that Rajogunam, where I had that Paurusham. Immediately I thought of, going ahead and doing this tapas and attain that. But that is a good thing. It's not that it is bad, but if you want to attain moksha, you should overcome all these. As a king, that is needed. As a wherever he is at that point, that is needed. So that is the reason why he was asked to go back and continue his duties as a king. So for another 25,000 years, he continued his duties and only then he was able to attain moksha. So it doesn't mean just because we have come to the realization of I want to attain moksha right now, we will not be given moksha right now. Even though we are qualified, we still need to complete performing our duties. And while we are doing those duties, we have to do them with utmost shraddha. All the satkarmacharana also has to be done with the shuddha manas. So many times people think that whatever bad we have done can be nullified with some good deeds. But with what kind of manas we are doing that good deeds, people forget. So we are our own selves. We go do annadanam, we go do this, we go do that, all kinds of dhanams and pujas and everything. But why are we not able to get rid of our papams is because we have not yet attained that Suddha Manas. So only with that Shuddha Manas, when we do the Satkarmacharana, our papams will become less and less. So Kshina Kalmashaha, that is Kshina Kalmashaha, and Chinnadvaidhaha. Even the Samshayams we have to get rid of. And what does that mean? When we believe in something and when we are doing that, with complete faith we have to do. We should not have any kind of samshayam. We should have that complete faith, the complete total surrender. We say no, like Annamacharya, if you see Ramadasa, all these, or Tyagaraja Maharshi or Swami, all these, why did they attain moksha? That complete surrenderness is there. No matter what happened, they didn't bother. Now, Ramadasa, he was put in jail. He didn't bother. He only had complete surrenderness. He completely surrendered. So nothing really bothered him. Even when he was being punished so much, it did not touch him. Only that physical pain will be there. Why? Because it is the body and it will pain. But he was his what do you say? Shraddha in that Paramatma was not disturbed because of that. So that is the kind of Shraddha one needs to have. So there no samshayam should be there. Many times, the minute we have some difficulty, we will immediately have some shame. Okay, if God was really there, I wouldn't be getting these difficulties. That comes, the first thought, that comes, right? So it means that we don't have that complete faith. If we have complete faith, we will not think like that. We will not think that God is the one who inflicted these difficulties upon us. That also we have studied in some shlokas previously. So God is not the one, or Paramatma is not the one who gives the sukham or the papam. It is our own doings. It is our own doings. That also we have studied earlier. So all these we have to remember. Constant mananam should be there. Smaranam should be there. Vishwasam should be there. That Shuddha Manas should be there. And this kind of practice should be continuously happening. Only such a person will be able to attain Brahma Nirvana. Okay. Astu. Anantaram. Any questions in this shloka? Narmada Bhagini, patitum ichchati va?
महोदय कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां हीनां यतचेतसाम् अभितो ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं तते विदितात्मनां कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां षष्ठी बहुवचन महोदय यतीनां षष्ठी यतीनां षष्ठी बहुवचन अकार यतचेतसाम्
Also Shashti.
षष्ठी बहुवचन अभितः
Abhitaha is a avyay.
अव्ययम् ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं नपुंसकलिङ्गं द्वितीय एकवचनं वर्तते आत्मनेपदी लट्लकारः प्रथमपुरुष एकवचनं विदितात्मनां इति षष्ठी बहुवचनं
Atman. So Nakaranta Pumlinga Shashti Bahuvachanam.
षष्ठी
Earlier word, this Chetasam also, Yata Chetas, Sakaranta Napumsaka Linga Shashti Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Yatinam, that is Ikaranta Pumlinga Shashti Bahuvachanam. Yati Shabda, Ikaranta Pumlinga Shashti Bahuvachanam. Kama Krodha Viyuktanam, that is Akaranta Napumsaka Linga Shashti Bahuvachanam. Or Pumlinga we can say, Viyuktaha. Kama Krodha Viyuktaha. Pumlinga Shashti Bahuvachanam. Astu.
पदार्थः कामक्रोधयुक्तानां रागद्वेषरहितानां यतचेतसां नियतबुद्धीनां विदितात्मनाम् आत्मज्ञानं यतीनां सन्न्यासिनां ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं मोक्षः अभितः सर्वतः वर्तते विद्यते अन्वयः कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां यतचेतसां विदितात्मनां यतीनां ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् अभितः वर्तते कामक्रोधाभ्यां युक्तानां सयतान्तः करणानां विदितात्मनां सन्न्यासिनां जीवतां कृतानां चेति उभयतः अपि मोक्षः वर्तते संयतान्तः అంటే
Sanyatanta means Sanyamanam. So Kama Krodhabhyam Viyuktanam and Sanyatanta Karananam.
Withstanding it iti vaktum shakyate kila.
Ante, yeah, not doing anything.
Withstanding, we can withstand. Samyamaha.
Sanyamanam. Oh, yes. Controlling or withstanding or
yes.
Prohibiting or regulating ourselves. In that sense, we can take. Niyata buddhi, like it is, it comes in the place of that yata chetasam. So where we are controlling our chittam, our manas.
Or mind.
Or mind, yes. Patitu Bhagini.
माध्वमतु कामक्रोधरहितानां निगृहीत मनस्कानां ब्रह्मज्ञानिनां यतीनां सर्वत्र प्राकृत शरीररहितस्य परमात्मनः दर्शनं भवति कृष्णाः केषां ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते केषां ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते यतीनां यतीनां कीदृशानां यतीनां ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते कामक्रोधयुक्तानां वर्तते यतयः काभ्यां युक्तानां भवति
यतीनां कीदृशानां यतीनां ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां यतीनां यतचेतसां यतीनां
यतयः काभ्यां మూడు వస్తాయి కదా కామక్రోధ వియుక్తానాం యతచేతసాం విదితాత్మానం చ
all three
యతయః కాభ్యాం వియుక్తాః భవంతి కాభ్యాం అంటే కామక్రోధాభ్యాం యతీనాం బ్రహ్మనిర్వాణం తత్ర భవతి
అభితః అంటే ఇన్ ఆల్ వేస్ ఆల్ అన్ని విధాలుగా
సంధి వ్యాకరణం సంధి అభితో బ్రహ్మనిర్వాణం అభితః యుక్తం బ్రహ్మనిర్వాణం విసర్గ సంధి సకారః రేపః ఉకారः గుణः సమాసः కామక్రోధౌ కామశ్చ క్రోధశ్చ ద్వంద్వ సమాసం కామక్రోధవియుక్తానాం కామక్రోధాభ్యాం వియుక్తాః తేషాం తృతీయ పురుషः యతచేతసాం యతం చేతః యైః తేషాం బహువ్రీహిః బ్రహ్మనిర్వాణం బ్రహ్మణి నిర్వాణం సత్వని తత్పురుషం యతః మహోదయ మీరు పైన అది వేరే చెప్పారు కదా ఇది
ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇచ్చారు యతః అని బట్ వి డోంట్ హ్యావ్ యతః యాజ్ అ వర్డ్ బై ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ రైట్ యతచేతసాం హియర్ వి హ్యావ్ యతచేతసాం సో మేబీ దే సింప్లీ గేవ్ దట్ యతః
महोदय शब्दकल्पद्रुमे अस्ति यत इति शब्दस्य पञ्चम्यन्त तसिल् इति दत्तमस्ति यद् शब्दस्य पञ्चम्यन्त तसिल् यतः इति दत्तमस्ति
तसिल् प्रत्ययम् Yeah, that is fine, but why is it given under this shloka for abhitah? No, not for abhitah. Why is it given here? We don't have yatah shabdam in the shloka, right? We don't have that.
यतः ततः वर्तते किल
किन्तु
ततः नास्ति
किमर्थं दत्तम् इति अस्तु anyways so coming back what is the kriya padam bagini
महोदय वर्तते
कर्तृपदम
यतीनां
यतीनां वर्तते but it is in षष्ठी विभक्ति
निर्वाणं वर्तते
so we can निर्वाणं ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मणि निर्वाणं and what is the morph analysis of nirvanam
मोक्षः
is it it is a just noun right nirvanam
मोक्षं
so this is one karaka sambandha we have to think about how so here what the shloka is to those who practice kama krodha viyuktanam those who practice controlling their kama and krodha those who are in continuous practice yatinam yatachetasam those who have those who have the chittam or the manas under control. Viditatmanam. Viditatmanam means Atmajnanam. Those who have Atmajnanam. To these people, Brahma Nirvanam, like to these people. That is how we look. Actually, Nirvanam is a Ktha Pratyaya. Nirvanam, we are using it as a noun, but it is originally Ktha Pratyaya, Nir Upasarga Va Dhatu. Ktha Pratyaya. So how we can take this is Brahma Nirvanam. Kama Krodha Viyuktanam Brahma Nirvanam Vartate. So here Kama Krodha Viyuktaha, you look at the sentence like this. Ramasya Gamanam Vartate. If I say Ramasya Gamanam Vartate, Vartate means to be there, right? Vartate is there. Or they can obtain. In that sense, a little deviation also can be taken. So here also, to those who practice all these, Yata Chetasam, Kama Krodha Viyuktanam, to all these people from in all kinds of directions or in all ways, this Brahma Nirvanam is obtained. Vartate. So Yatinam Brahma Nirvanam Vartate. Brahma Nirvanam, if you look at it as a Kridanta, with respect to Yatinam, so Yatayaha Brahma Nirvanam Prapnoti. Can we say that? When I say Ramasya Gamanam Asti, okay, Ramasya Gamanam Atra Asti, something like that. What do I actually mean? Ramaha Gacchati. So here the Gamana Kriya is being indicated and the Vyapara Ashrayatvam is in Rama. So Rama will be the Karta to this Gamana Kriya. So though I say Ramasya Gamanam Asti, Rama will be the Karta to Gamanam. Gamanam Asti. So Gamanam will be Karta to Asti. Gamanam Asti. Kasya Gamanam Asti? Ramasya Gamanam Asti. So Ramasya will be Karta to Gamanam because the Gamana Kriya Ashrayatvam is there in Rama. So this is only Karaka Shashti. We call this Karaka Shashti. Shashti Vibhakti is used in the place of Kartru Karakam. Normally the Kartru Karakam will get either Prathama Vibhakti or Trutiya Vibhakti. But here, instead of Prathama or Trutiya, it gets a Shashti because of a sutra by Panini, where if the Kriya Padam is a Kridanta, then the Kartripadam or the Karma Padam can get to Shashti Vibhakti as per that sutra. So here also we can say Yatinam. So Yatayaha Brahma Nirvanam Prapnoti. That is what it means, meaning wise. So here Yati is Karta with respect to Nirvanam. So we can mark it as Nirvanam. And Abhitaha will become in all ways, in all directions. If you take it as in all directions, then we can mark it as Adhikarana. But I would say Kriya Visheshana is a better analysis. In all possible ways, they will obtain Brahma Nirvana. So we can take it as Kriya Visheshana also. Or if you want to look at it as in all directions from everywhere, in that sense, if you take Adhikaranam. For that, again, because it is not up to us to decide, we have to see Vakta, what the Vakta is trying to say. For that, we have to look at the Vyakhyana. So here, in Madhava Matam, if you see, Kama Krodha Rahitanam, Nigrihita Manaskanam, Brahma Jnaninam, Yatinam, Sarvatra Prakrita Sharira Rahitasya Paramatmanaha Darshanam Bhavati. Sarvatra, everywhere. So we can take it as Adhikarana. Ubhayataha. In the Tatparyam also it is given as Mritanam cha iti.
Ubhayataha api mokshaha
Vartate. There also Ubhayataha is indicating kind of direction. So you can take it as Adhikarana. So, but here Yatinam, you can mark it as Karta to Brahma Nirvanam and all the other three as Visheshanas to Yatinam. Kama Krodha Viyuktanam is Visheshana to Yatinam, Yata Chetasam also, and this also, because all these qualities together they have to be. Now that also you see, sometimes when some quality, when all the qualities need to be, then we take them as Visheshanas. We pick one as the Karta and all the others will become Visheshanas. Sometimes they will be parallelly. They will be parallelly. So
Everything is needed.
then abheda we use, means either this or that. It can be both. It is not compulsory that both. You can identify Rama as Sundaraha and Dyutiman.
Suraha.
So then both are not dependent. You can call Rama as just Sundaraha and Dhiraha. Say for example. So here they both will become abhedas, means both are equal in their status to Rama rather than as Visheshana. Okay, so Sundaraha, Dhiraha, Ravanam, Marayati. So here both will be abheda, means they both have equal status. One is not greater than the other. In such case, we use abheda. Let us put that aside. But here we mark this as Karta to Brahma Nirvanam, and again Brahma Nirvanam is Karta to Vartate. Why? Because Brahma Nirvanam Vartate, it is there. How is it there, or how are they obtaining the Brahma Nirvanam? From all sides. Abhitaha. So Abhitaha will be Adhikaran. Okay. So in that sense we can take. This is a little tricky. The Karaka Shashti will be a little tricky. For that, the first thing you have to do is look at the word to which it is connected and see if it is a Kridanta. Of course, it will be used as a noun. Kridantas can be used as nouns. But with respect to this, like I say, Patitam Pustakam, Tena Patitam Pustakam, Saha Patati. Tena Patitam. By him it was dropped. So here Patitam is Kartripadam with respect to Tena. Ramena Patitam. Ramena Patitam. So here Patitam is Kriyapadam to Ramena. Patitam Pustakam Saha Patati or Saha Swikaroti. There it is Visheshana to Pustakam and it is acting like a noun. Right? It is an adjective, but it is behaving like a noun. But it is a Ksa Pratyayam and it is a Kriyapadam with respect to Ramena. So similarly, noun, always check, go to the morph analysis and check, because sometimes some words we use them more often as a noun. So we don't even know if they are Kridantas. So if they are Kridantas, then we can use this Karaka Shashti. Okay? Because Karaka Shashti happens only with a Kridanta. Otherwise, if it is not a Kridanta, if it is a proper noun, then Karaka Shashti will not come. Shashti Sambandha only we have to take. Okay, so that is the deciding factor. So always, keep an eye on the word, whether it is a Kridanta or a proper noun. So how to know that? You look at all the Kridanta Pratyayas. If it is any of the pratyaya that it comes with, if it is a Kridanta Pratyaya or a regular Subanta Pratyaya, with that you can decide if it is a Kridanta or not. So depending on that, we have to decide. So here in this shloka, again Kama Krodha is mentioned, right? In the 23rd shloka also, Kama Krodha is mentioned. Shaknoti haiva yaha sodhum Praksharira Vimokshanat Kamakrododbhavam Vegam Saha Yuktaha Sasukhi Naraha. So there in that shloka, what is being told? He who controls the Vegam of Kamakrodha will become Sukhi. And here what is being told? Kamakrodha Viyuktanam. Viyukta means completely avoiding, completely pushing away the Kama Krodha, not bringing down its speed, completely avoiding Kama Krodha. So here we have to observe the Kramam. So first point is to recognize that we are getting this Kama or Krodha, to recognize when it is there. Okay, oh, this is what is called Krodha. When we experience that emotion, we have to identify first. Without identifying, we cannot put it under control. Even Kamam, whether we are only eating it for the requirement of our body or do we have a temptation over it? That also we need to identify. Once that identification is done, then it will become easy for us to bring it under control or not. If we don't have any kama, we only should nourish. We have to, nourishing the body is our responsibility, because we got this body based on the deeds that we have done in the past. We have earned this body. So we have to take care of it until we transform into another body. We have to take care of it again to the best of our capability. So we need to nourish it. But how? How do we nourish it? Not with desire, but whatever it needs, we have to give it. That's all. So like that, we have to identify whether we have kama or krodha. Why? Because if we have kama, say for example, we are even while nourishing our body, depending on the food that we are taking, if we have kama, we will have a desire to eat certain foods. And if we don't get that, we will get angry or upset or disappointed. Some kind of emotion will be there. Why? Because we have that kama to start with. If we don't have kama, then whatever is there, our body needs nourishment and we need to feed it. That's all. So if a particular item is not there, we will not be disappointed. We will nourish our body with whatever is there. So then there is no question of krodha or disappointment or anything. So that is the reason why we need to identify whether we have kama, whether we are doing certain things with kama or not. If we do with kama, then there is definitely going to be some kind of disappointment sooner or later. Maybe now, right now, it is available, so we ate and we are happy. But next time, or whatever is available, maybe it is not sufficient. Maybe we did not get it again for so many other days. So like this, that constant because that sukham is not shashvatam, we are bound to again come across that same feeling again. So initially we have to identify the kama and krodha, then we have to control the vegam with which they are picking up in our mind. And after we practice that enough number of times, then we are ready to put a control, complete control on kama and krodha. So to indicate this kramam, in this shloka, again kama krodha is mentioned and viyuktanam is word. Now it is used with viyuktanam. In the earlier shloka, vegam is used. So that also such fine nuances we have to observe. Otherwise, all the shlokas will appear the same. Oh, there also kama krodha we have to control. Here also kama krodha we have to control. Control only, but there is a slight difference between the two. So with this we have, because we are struggling, we all know that we have to control kama and krodha, but how? So the steps are being indicated in all these shlokas. That is the difference with each shloka. By identifying that steps, it will become easy for us to climb the steps. Only when we know what the steps are, it will become easy for us. So first identify and then see what the reason is. And then start detachment. It is obviously Vishaya Vancha only. Because our Indriyas are giving in to these Vishayas, this Kama will come. So if we reduce that Vishaya exposure with the Vishayas, obviously that will come down. And even then, we will still have Kama. So bring down the speed. And then means whatever we are doing impulsively, that we have to bring under control. Then totally we have to get rid of it. So to indicate that, this is mentioned again here with this word viyuktanam. Okay, yatinam. And for that, what is needed? Yatinam means practice. Can it happen overnight? Anything? Bringing kama and krodha under control? No, it cannot happen. So yatinam, by complete practice. Yata chetasam, again controlling of the mind. And then viditatmanam, with that atma tattva jnanam. Okay, we have to constantly remind atma tattva jnanam. If we want to achieve, then these are not the things that we should spend our energy and time on. With that kind of atma jnanam, it will become easy. So constantly all these, and these are the steps. So to bring kama and krodha under complete control, that abhyasam is needed. And to do that abhyasam, one needs that chittam in the manas. Why? Because it is not easy to do practice. Even with our studies, we observe that many times we are falling behind. Why? Because we are not doing it diligently, that abhyasam, continuously. We do for several months and then some kind of break. Why? Again, priorities might change and all that, but again, we have to remind ourselves on the priority. The next shloka will tell that. So while in this journey, sometimes there will be small other benefits coming across our way. We should not be distracted with that small benefits. When somebody is doing tapas, okay, they will, after doing for certain time, they will have some special powers. They will get some special powers because of that tapas. If they feel happy, oh, I already have these special powers, so let me enjoy these for a while. That's it. The whole thing is gone. Again, they have to start from zero. They will spend away all those special powers in no time, and they will again be back in square one. But what are they looking for? Moksham. So the tapas is for moksha or whatever. But during that path, because of that shraddha that they have put in for so long, they will get some small benefits. But those are not what we have to remind ourselves. This is not what I'm doing my tapas for. The ultimate goal, our drishti should always be on that ultimate goal. That comes in that next shloka. But here, this is what it is. So here, so the kama and the krodha. So here, basically, there is again a small story associated with it. Like there is a king in the Raghuvamsha, and we all know that Vasishta Maharshi is the Acharya of the Raghuvamsha kings. So once this particular king, he will invite Vasishta Maharshi to his home for lunch. And during that lunch, Vasishta Maharshi notices that there is a small hair follicle in the lunch, in the food that he is eating. And it is supposed to be a very big dosha, having hair in the food. So even if it is by mistake, if we find hair in the food, many like as per our we have,
Shastras.
as per our shastra, what is said is you have to remove it and again purify it with the ghee, and only then you can consume the food, the remaining of the food. And if a guest finds hair in the food that we serve it, they will take it as an insult, that we are insulting them. So even here, Vasishta Maharshi also kind of brings that, and he brings it to the notice of the king, saying there is a hair in the food. And then the king kind of refuses, no, there cannot be such a thing. I took so much of care in getting this thing, the food prepared, so nothing of that sort should happen. So then Vasishta Maharshi gets angry. He says, I saw and you are saying that it cannot be there. What is this? And he will curse him to become a Brahma Rakshasa for like 25 years. Okay, so the king also now gets angry, and he will also take the water in his hand and chants some mantras to curse the Maharshi. But then his wife will come and say, no, you cannot do this. He is our guru of the whole Raghuvamsha. How can you do such a thing? No, you cannot do that. So then he will again calm down, and the water are already in his hand, which have been already upon which the mantra has been recited. So he will drop down, but that water will fall on his feet, and the feet will turn black. So he is known as Kalmasha Padaha. That king is known by this name because of this happening, Kalmasha Padaha. So then what happens? So this king has already become a Brahma Rakshasa because of Vasishta's curse. So he is still angry though, but he's not able to curse him back. So what he does is he will swallow the son of Vasishta, Shakti. Shakti is Vasishta's son, one of Vasishta's son, and he is the only one left. Something else happens where his other sons are also killed by some other Rakshasa or whoever. But this particular Shakti is swallowed by this particular Rakshasa. And now Vasishta Maharshi is very sad because he is left with no one else. And then he realizes, and this Shakti is not a normal Maharshi. He is also a very great Maharshi. So Vasishta was thinking, like, with this son, because he's the only one left, the other sons are also taken away in such a case, something similar to this. So he thinks he has to train this son in such a way that he has to become such a great Maharshi, and everybody should, know him as Vasishta's son. He's such a great son in that way. And now that the Rakshasa has eaten him up, he's sad. Why? Because he has this karma here. Like, my son should become this great. I should be known as the father of Shakti, and such great person he should become, or Maharshi he should become. So all this is karmam, right? And because now that cannot happen, this sadness has occurred. And of course, with the sadness later on, again that kama and krodha also will come. And then he suddenly realizes, okay, I am sad that my son is not alive anymore. But what is the reason for all of this? That hair. Should the hair come in the food, I should have avoided, picking up a fight over that. Because of my anger, that kshanikavesam, I put a shapam on this king, and he also got upset, and he swallowed my son. So who is the Mula Karana of all this? My anger. So Vasishta Maharshi is not a Sadharana Maharshi, right? He's such a great Maharshi. He's known for his Shanti Swabhavam, and even he gave in momentarily for this Krodha. So that is the kind of power that this Kama and Krodha have. That is the reason why again and again and again they are mentioned. The importance of bringing them under control is given in so many ways for that reason. Because it is not possible even for a Maharshi like that. Even he gave in for a second. And then this disaster has happened. And how much are we? How big are we? Or how strong are we in our mind? We are not. So with that conscious, we have to work. Like I always say, if we don't have that in our conscious, we will be disappointed. Oh, I've been practicing for 2 days and I'm still not able to bring my kama and krodha under control. So we should understand that it is not 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 years that it takes. It can take several lives, but we should not give up, because our ultimate goal is moksha. Through the lives, we have to think that with this life, this will not end. Whatever abhyasa we put in will not end with this life, because the Atma is always there. Our abhyasa is with the Atma and not with the Sharira. It is only the Sharira that is dropping. Whatever abhyasa we have put in is still there in our account, associated with our Atma. So as we move forward through these births, the Shariras will keep dropping, but our abhyasa will be carried forward along with our Atma. And in one life, we will reach that point. If we remember and understand this, we will not stop that practice. Otherwise, many people think, oh, today we are there, tomorrow we are going to die. Who will keep track of what I did and what I did not do? Let us forget it here, enjoy this one life. Right? And we will always be stuck in this life. So we have to remember and not get discouraged. And this abhyasa has to continue. So that is what this shloka is telling us. Okay. Anantaram? Any questions in this shloka? Lakshmi Narayan Mahodaya, patitum ichchati va?
आं महोदय पठामि वा श्लोक तत्र श्लोकद्वयं मिलित्वा
श्लोकद्वयं पठ
स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्याश्चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ यतेन्द्रियमनो बुद्धिर्निर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छाभयः क्रोधो यः सदा मुक्त एव सः
निर्मोक्ष
यतेन्द्रिय मनो बुद्धिर
मुनिर्मोक्षपरायण
अस्तु
पदविभागः स्पर्श यः सः मानवः स्पर्शान् शब्दादि विषयान् बाह्यान् बहिः वर्तमानान् बहिर्भागे चक्षुः च एव नेत्रम् अपि भ्रुवोः अंतरे मध्ये नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ नासिकान्तरसञ्चारिणौ प्राणापानवायु समौ तुल्यौ कृत्वा विधाय यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः वशीकृतेन्द्रियचित्तमतिः मोक्षपरायणः मोक्षरतः विगतेच्छा भयः क्रोधः विनष्टरागद्वेषभयः मुनिः यतिः सः पुरुषः सदा सततं मुक्त एव विमुक्त एव सः भवति।
सो पदपरिचयमपि कर्तुम् इच्छति वा महोदय?
करोमि, प्रयत्नं करोमि।
Yaha, you can the order given in the padartha if you want.
यत् शब्दः
यः यत् शब्दस्य प्रथम
एकवचन स्पर्शान्
अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्गः
अकारान्त द्वितीया विभक्ति बहुवचन बाह्यान् बाह्यं नपुंसकलिङ्ग
बाह्यः
अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग
विभक्ति बहुवचन
द्वितीया बहुवचन बहिः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन
बहिः अव्ययमस्ति
सारी बहिः अव्ययम् चक्षुः चक्षुः शब्द सकारान्त
द्वितीया विभक्ति एकवचन
तत्र भ्रुवोः भ्रुवः
षष्टिविभक्ति द्विवचन
षष्टिविभक्ति द्विवचन अत्र
द्विवचन
अन्तरे अव्ययशब्द
अन्तरे सप्तमी एकवचन
then नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ नासाभ्यन्तर चारिणौ
द्वितीया विभक्ति द्विवचन
then प्राणापानौ द्वितीया बहुवचन
प्राणापानौ द्वितीया द्विवचन प्राणः पानः च
प्राणः च प्राण द्वन्द्व समासः तत्
द्विवचनम्
then समौ इति द्विवचनमेव अत्रापि
शब्दस्य
कृत्वा तान्तः यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिः अत्र बुद्धिः
so normally buddhihi is a
strilinga
strilinga but here it is a word. You can take it as how does it mean here?
यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिः एकमेव पदम् अस्ति
एकमेव पदम् यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिः
प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन we can take it as pullinga किल
पुंलिङ्ग because it is विशेषणा to munihi
then मोक्षपरायणः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन then विगतेच्छा भयः क्रोधः विगतेच्छा भयः क्रोधः
प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन
मुनिः तत् प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन मुनिः
यः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन
सः सर्वनाम शब्द प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचन सदा अव्यय मुक्तः
अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग
प्रथमा विभक्ति
अन्वयः
यः स्पर्शान् बाह्यान् बहिः चक्षुः च एव भ्रुवोः अन्तरे कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छा भयः क्रोधः मुनिः वर्तते सः सदा मुक्तः एव। श्लोकद्वयस्य द्वयं मिलित्वा अन्वयं कृतवान्।
अन्वयः कृतमस्ति।
तात्पर्यं यः सर्वान् अपि इन्द्रियार्थान् बहिरेव कृत्वा तान् अविचिन्त्य दृष्टिं भ्रुवोः मध्ये संस्थाप्य नासिकायां सञ्चरन्तौ प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा इन्द्रियाणि मनः बुद्धिं च नियन्त्र्य मोक्षपरायणः भवति यः च इच्छाभयः क्रोधादिरहितः अस्ति सः सदा मुक्तः एव इति निर्णयः।
स्पर्शाः के?
इंद्रिय शब्दस्पर्श रूपरसगन्धात् पंचेन्द्रिय।
आम्। अनन्तरं मुनिः स्पर्शान् कीदृशान् करोति?
बाह्यान्।
बाह्यान्। मुनेः चक्षुः कुत्र भवति?
मुनेः भ्रुवोः मध्ये।
भ्रुवोः मध्ये भवति।
आम्।
मुनिः कौ समौ करोति?
प्राणापानौ।
प्राणापानौ समौ करोति।
प्राणापानौ कीदृशौ?
प्राणापानौ नासिकाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ।
विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधः कः?
विगतेच्छाभयः क्रोधः
मुनिः।
मुनिः।
मुनिः कीदृशः भवति?
मुनिः मोक्षपरायणः।
पुनः
पुनः सतता सदा मुक्तः एव।
पुनः अत्र श्लोके कानि पदानि?
यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः।
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 विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधः च। अस्तु। अनन्तरं सन्धि समासमपि पठितुम्
अस्ति। सन्धि बहिर्बाह्यश्च चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे। बहिः प्लस बाह्यान् विसर्गसन्धि रेपः। बहिर्बाह्यान् चक्षुः तत्त्वसन्धि ऋत्वं विसर्ग अनुस्वारः सकारं ष्टुत्वं च। चक्षुः च विसर्गसन्धि सकारः ष्टुत्वं। एव बहिर्बाह्याश्चक्षुश्चैव प्लस अंतरे सवर्ण दीर्घसन्धि। बहिर्बाह्याश्चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे।
1 2 3 4 5
संधि।
5 संधिस् in this.
यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिर्मोक्षपरायणः। यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिः प्लस मुनिः विसर्गरेफः। यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिर्मुनिः प्लस मोक्षपरायणः विसर्गरेपः एव। विगतेच्छा भयक्रोधो यः। विगतेच्छा भयक्रोधः प्लस यः विसर्गसन्धि सकार रेपः उकार गुणः। समासः प्राणापानो। प्राणश्च अपानश्च द्वन्द्व समास। नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ। नासायाः अभ्यन्तरं नासाभ्यन्तरं षष्टितत्पुरुष। नासाभ्यन्तरे चरतः तच्छीलौ। ताच्छीलिके कर्तरि निनि उपपद समासश्च। यतेन्द्रिय मनोबुद्धिः इंद्रियाणि च मनश्च बुद्धिश्च इंद्रिय मनोबुद्धयः द्वन्द्व समास। इंद्रियाणि मनः च बुद्धिः। यतः इंद्रिय मनोबुद्धय येन सह बहुव्रीहि। मोक्षपरायणः मोक्षः परायणं यस्य सह बहुव्रीहि। विगतेच्छा भयः क्रोधः। इच्छा च भयं च क्रोधश्च इच्छा भयः क्रोधाः। इच्छा भय क्रोध विगता। इच्छा भय क्रोधाः यस्मात् सह बहुव्रीहि। कृदन्त स्पर्शान्।
धातुः
स्फुरु धातु
स्पर्श धातु स्पर्श धातु
स्पर्शान् स्पर्शान्
स्पर्श धातु क प्रत्यय न
विगतः वि उपसर्ग गम धातु तान्त मुक्त मुच मुच धातु त
कर्मण्य
कर्म
त महोदय अत्र तच्छीलौ इति पदं नास्ति किल
उपपदसमासे भवति किल कुम्भं करोति कुम्भकारः तच्छील तदेव
अत्र श्लोके नास्ति किल
तच्छील श्लोके नास्ति बट उपपदसमासस्य रूपं
like how they gave the yataha यतः पूर्वश्लोके दत्तमस्ति तथा एव अत्रापि विगतः इति दत्तम्
ताच्छीलौ इति दत्तमस्ति अत्र तच्छीलौ
तच्छीलिकेति बहुत्र उपयोगं कृतवन्तः
अस्तु सो अत्र क्रियापदं किम्
क्रियापदं तु
यः स्पर्शान् बाह्यान् बहिः
भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः मुनिः मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छा भयक्रोधः यः सदा
अध्याहर्तव्यमेव
मुक्त एव सः भवति
मुक्तः एव भवति मुक्तः भवति
भवति
तो भवति इति क्रियापदमस्ति यः यः मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छा भयक्रोधः मुनिः वर्तते सः मुक्तः भवति so वर्तते we can take as अध्याहृतं for the first part of the sentence सः मुक्तः भवति that is the second sentence सः सदा मुक्तः एव भवति that for the second sentence अध्याहृतं is bhavati so yaha sah we can join both so the sentence is simple saha kartrupadam muktah videya visheshana bhavati kriyapadam sada kaladhikaranam eva just sambandha to muktah in the first part yaha sparshan bahyan bahihi chakshuhu cha eva bhruvoh antare kritva so kritva is purvakala for vartate भ्रुवोः अन्तरे कृत्वा अन्तरे इस्
मध्ये इत्यर्थः किल अन्तरे
नासाभ्यन्तरः
so it is अधिकरण to कृत्वा भ्रुवोः is षष्ठी सम्बन्ध to antare and then chakshuhu so here chakshuhu will be kartrupadam to कृत्वा okay sparshan bahyan bahihi again so chakshuhu bhruvor antare kritva is one thing sparshan bahyan bahihi kritva is also another thing here we have two things that he has to do one is keep all the indriyas outside the vishayan of the indriyas outside and then the chakshu should be focused between the eyebrows these are two things he has to do so one is sparshan bahyan bahihi kritva the second one is chakshuhu bhruvoho antare kritva. Okay. So
कथं भवेत् एवं कार्यद्वयं
or you can do one second you can do another thing bahihi sthitva or sthapayitva bahihi sthapayitva sparshan bahyan bahihi sthapayitva bahyan is bahyan sparshan also we can say right
bahi vartmanam
bahihi sthapayitva that is adhyahritam and then chakshuhu bhruvoho antare kritva focusing the eyes to the middle of your eyebrows nasabhyantara charinau pranapanau samau kritva here kritva is another kvantam so nasabhyantara charinau pranapanau so here nasabhyantara charinau is visheshana to pranapanau
Yes.
समौ अपि तत्र
That is also Visheshana.
That
विशेषणः
is also Visheshana. Samau means the two pranas, one that is going in and one that is coming out. Both should be equally. They have, it has to be done equally through the nose. Nasabhyantara charinau, the pranas that are going through the nose, in and out.
So nostril, both one side prana and one side upon that.
So samau krit. So we can take somehow as Videya Visheshana to Pranapano, because this Pranapana should be done equally. Okay, so rather than as a simple Visheshana, we can take it as Videya Visheshana. So just not simply inhaling and exhaling, that with equal force, both have to be done. Samau Kritva.
Samau Kritva.
So Samau will be Videya Visheshana to Pranapanav, and Nasabhyantara Charinav will be Visheshana to Pranapanav, and Pranapanav will be Karta to Kritva. Yatendriya Mano Buddhihi Moksha Parayanaha Vigatechhabhayakrodaha Munihi. This Munihi is Karta to Vartate, and all the other things are Visheshanas to Munihi.
Munihi. Yatendriya Mano Buddhihi Moksha Parayanaha Vigatechhabhayakrodaha.
Okay, Trayam Visheshana to Munihi. Saha, Yaha and Saha will now be joined. Saha Sada Muktaha Eva Bhavati. Okay. So here in these two shlokas, the importance of the pranayamam is given. The importance of yoga abhyasam. Now, in the earlier shloka, we were told that we need a lot of abhyasa to bring the indriyas and the manas and all this under control. The kama and the krodha. So that kind of abhyasa cannot simply happen to anybody. It happens only, first you have to put your body in condition. And how does the body come under condition? With the yoga abhyasam. The yoga abhyasam. So for correct. So to bring the body under control, yoga abhyasam is needed to bring it into shape. And for that, pranayamam is one very important thing to bring the body under control. So for this, bahya vastuni, you should not focus on the bahya vastuni. Always the focus should be inside. That is one thing. And how do you do that? How do you do that? If you keep your eyes open, your eyes are open to everything, all the bahya. So
distraction.
Focus will be distracted. If you close your eyes, the first thing that comes is nidra. Close your eyes without focusing on that middle point. What happens is simply doze off. So by focusing in this middle point, what is happening is close and then focus on the middle point. You are putting your eyes at work, because it's an effort to bring them to focus them on that middle point. There is a constant practice of the eyes to bring them to focus to that middle point, so they cannot fall asleep. Correct. And the eyes are closed, so there is no distraction from
Deepaneti practice.
So to bring that focus, closing of the eyes and focusing on that middle point of the eyebrows, the reason for that is so that your eyes will not fall asleep if you simply close and not focus on that middle point. To focus on that middle point, it takes effort. You cannot doze off. If you are constantly focusing on that middle point, we cannot fall asleep. And the eyes are closed. So outside distraction is not there. So then you can practice the chitta vritti nirodham. Chitta nirodham can now be practiced. It will become easy. Why? Because all the bahya sparsha and all this are being controlled, especially with the eyes. There is no connection directly through the eyes, because with eyes even more obvious, right? Pramana. And this chitta vritti is again described in 5 ways. One is viparya, vikalpa, nidra, and smriti. So 5 are. The first one is pramana, which means through your eyes, ears, and nose, there is direct connection with the bahya prapancham, the bahya vishayan. Right? When you see something, you see something. Yatha vidhi, yathartha vishayan. Okay, that is there with pramana. That is one chitta vritti. The second chitta vritti is vipariyaya. Vipari means obviously there is some distraction in the truth. So this is a Brahma. We can take it as Brahma. Means you will imagine certain things. You don't have direct drishti. You hear something and you think something is happening. You don't have a pratyaksha pramanam for that. So you are imagining things. That is a vipariyaya. That also happens with your mind. You cannot stop it.
Yes, yes.
Then vikalpa.
Vikalpa.
Vikalpa is another
Alternate.
vritti. This is sandeham. Vikalpa is nothing but sandeham. Oh, is it this or that? That sandeham is there. And then nidra. Nidra we all know. So that is also one kind of chitta vritti. And another one is smriti. Means smriti is a recollection of things that we have already pramanam of. We already have seen it in the past, and now we again remember it. So again chitta vritti is happening. You smell something and then you go back in thoughts. Many times that happens, right? You
Yes,
listen to a song and you go back to the days when you first heard that song.
Yes.
So, so that smaranam is also a distraction. So chitta vritti can happen in these 5 different ways. So these should not be happening. So while doing pranayamam, that complete focus should be there. And for that, by focusing your eyes on that middle point of the eyebrows, then at least most of these can be controlled. Because your focus is on putting your drishti on the middle point of the eyebrows. So automatically, at least some of them will come under control. And once a person attains that siddhi, where able to bring under control this chitta vritti, then they don't even need to close the eyes. Only for people like us who are still in the abhyasa phase, we need to practice all this. After we achieve control over that, some people, they will keep their eyes open, but they are not being distracted by anything. That is why we have already attained that level of chitta vritti
Nirodha.
nirodha. Okay, so for them that is no longer needed. Like how we say that once you go past a certain phase, that regular puja is not needed when you know the spiritual aspect of it, right? Routine should always be there because there is another reason for the routine. You are creating the environment to keep your mind in a calm way. But if you are able to keep your mind calm in no matter what the situation is, then all these are not necessary. But we are still not there. Because we are still not there, we still have to practice these. So that is the reason why we have to why it is mentioned that when we are doing pranayamam, we have to keep our eyes closed and the focus should be on the middle point of the eyebrows. And then here, what is the shloka saying? So that is the first 2 lines. And then yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayanaha vigatecha bhaya krodho yaha sada muktaha eva. So here vigatecha bhaya krodha. So now you should also not have fear of the krodha coming back or the kama coming back. I am doing all this. Will I be able to success? Will I be successful? Will I be able to control my kama and krodha? That bhayam should not be there. Without any fear, we have to do our abhyasa. Again, like as always, that phalapeksha should not be there. It will happen when it will happen. It is all dependent on our sanchita karmas. And once we get rid of all those, that will happen. But until then, we have to continue the abhyasa. Okay, so these are the 3 qualities we need to have. Yatendriya mano buddhihi. And then
Moksha parayanaha.
Vigatecha
bhaya krodha.
Having these 3 qualities, we have to practice doing this pranayamam, and then muktihi is already there. You don't have to, transform into something or something. You will still be in this sharira, but you have already attained that mukti. That is what this shloka is telling about. Okay. Any questions? Okay. If not, we shall continue in the next class. Beginning?
తాత్సలిక మహోదయ ఈ తాత్సలిక అనేది చాలా చోట్ల వస్తుంది కదా, దాన్ని ఎలా యూజ్ చేస్తారు అక్కడ పదాలు లేవు కదా
ఇక్కడ ఏ పదము
तच्छीलौ
ताच्छीलौ।
ताच्छीलिके
ताच्छीलौ
नासाभ्यन्तरे
ताच्छीलिके
चरतः
कर्तरि
ताच्छीलौ
नासाभ्यन्तरे चरतः
तच्छीलौ
तच्छीलौ
అంతే తత్శీలం అంటే అటువంటి శీలం
उपपद समासे तत् भवति
he who has that kind of guna
अशुक्लं शुक्लीकृत्य तदेव
where is it given, where are you all looking at ఇక్కడ
समासः
చరతః తచ్చీలౌ
तच्छीलौ
తచ్చీలికే కర్తరి తచ్చీలికే
उपपद समासः
उपपद समास
ఉపపద సమాస always indicates క్రియాపదం in the vigraha vakya నాసాభ్యంతరే
चरतः
is the క్రియాపదం here అంటే వెళ్తున్నా చరతి means to go back and forth laga to go, not, it does not indicate back and forth, but here we know that abhyantara indicates that going back and forth.
Yes.
So going back and forth, tachhilau, in that tachhilike. So kartari nini, this is a nini pratyayam that is being used here. Here shila, that which is going in and out, that is why it is used in dvivachana, means the prana that is going in and the prana that is coming out. అందుకే ద్వివచనంలో ఉంది. చరతః also is in ద్వివచన. చరతి చరతః చరంతి. So going in and out.
అంటే ఇన్ అండ్ అవుట్ అన్న దానికి
నాసాభ్యంతరే అంటే ముక్కు ద్వారా లోపలికి బయటికి వెళ్తూ ఉన్న అటువంటి గుణం కల.
అంటే తచ్చిలో అనే వర్డ్ అసలు ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది గురు?
వేరే సందర్భాల్లో కూడా దీన్ని వాడారనుకుంటచ్చు. అంటే 4-5 చోట్ల వచ్చింది ఇందులో భగవద్గీతలోనే.
అది శీలం అనేది గుణం కిందే తీసుకోవాలి ఇక్కడ. తత్ శీలం తచ్చీలం.
ఓహో, శీలం. ఓకే, అర్థమైంది.
అటువంటి గుణము కలది అని. So that which goes in and out through the nose, that property kaladi ani tachilo. Okay, astu bagini. Alivelu bagini.
भगिनी सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमस्कार भगिनी, धन्यवादः। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः, धन्यवादः
महोदय।
धन्यवादः महोदय।
सर्वेभ्यः
धन्यवाद।